Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Well, maybe not children, some not. Welcome to another episode of Agents of Calamity. I, as always, am Flash Attack Jack, Dr. Death, Crypto Creep, Captain Handsome, leader of the Federation of the Handsomest Men in the Universe. We want you to come join the Facebook group today, on Facebook at Agents of Calamity Group. Join the Instagram at AOC_operatives. Join the Twitter at AOC Operatives. We will be hitting Rumble come June 29th. But until then, follow all of our stuff on YouTube. As always, free content. www.agentsofcalamity.com. We got a full house today. Full house today, as you can see. A lot to talk about, a lot that can be discussed. But as always, I am not alone. I brought some friends.
Welcome. It's Flying Can of Spam, Pineapple Man, Polynesian Cryptid here in central Pennsylvania. You can find me at Frank1570 on the Instagram. And we're not alone. We have 3 more people.
3 more. Is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
You're up.
What's up, everybody? Willy Blaze, a.k.a. C4. Just a guy who does cool shit. You know what I mean? I'm very grateful with these gentlemen. The Flying Spam and the Captain of Handsome, I believe. The self-proclaimed. We'll just go with that. You know, we're nice enough to invite me out here. I'm looking forward to talking about some wild shit. But yeah, you can find me on socials. Will Blaze though on Facebook and Willy_Blaze1369 on Instagram. Appreciate you.
Yeah, Sammy Snow.
Hey.
SNO. You know where to find me. SammySnow.com. SammySnow_USENT on IG. And then Sammy Snow SNO on everything else. And I got somebody else with me.
Hi, Delilah. On Facebook, you can find me under Diamante Grezzo. Instagram, Medusa's Legacy or Galaxy in Motion.
Nice. Right around.
Legend has it that you like motorcycles.
The legend has it. Oh yeah?
Is this a true legend?
What gave that away? Yeah. I think there's probably some authenticity to that. Yeah.
Okay, so you do like motorcycles, motorbikes. What about bicycles?
I'm indifferent. You know what I mean? I like the concept of a bicycle, but it's been a long time since I rode a bicycle. So
you'd rather have an engine on the bicycle?
Yeah, it's a little more fun. You know what I mean? You get to where you're going quicker.
It's less strain and physical shit.
Girls think it looks cooler. You know what I mean? So,
you know, into that, bro.
When are you gonna get a bike?
Dude, I got a bicycle right now.
Oh, a bicycle? I'm talking about a bike with a motor on it.
Yeah, I'll get that. You know, I was shopping around a little bit. You know,
shopping around a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, I might have something for you.
How long have you been a fan of the motorcycles?
I mean, lifelong if you want to be technical. You know what I mean? My mom and my dad got divorced when I was very young. And she started dating somebody, actually while her and my dad weren't even officially divorced, they were separated. And he worked at the post office with her, a dude named Jed. And he was just probably one of the coolest dudes I'd ever met. You know what I mean? And they have a great relationship with my dad. So like, this dude was the opposite of my dad. He was like fucking cool. He was just an old biker dude, you know. He built choppers and just smoked cigars on his porch playing guitar. Like he was just like this, just an old
60s head,
like an old rocker dude, man. You know, his garage was just filled with pictures of naked women and just like he was just like that type, you know. And the ideal weekend for him was him and his buddies just get together and just ride off in the fucking sunset and camp out, somewhere and go swim in the river. Like they were cool. They were like really a true bastion of what old school outlaw bikers were. So I think I was always very enamored by that when I was young. And yeah.
Why do you say outlaw bikers as opposed to a normal biker?
Well, you know, you're like your normal biker who would just be someone who's like an enthusiast. You know what I mean? But you know, an outlaw biker is someone who like not only just really genuinely lives it. They live and breathe the culture, but there's also, you know, a code of ethics. And you know, he wasn't club affiliated or nothing like that, but it was more like just, you know, they don't fuck with law enforcement. You know, they just don't
Say
fuck with
don't
the
fuck
government.
with
They
law.
don't. Nah, they don't at all. So it was like, so it was very much that's what I mean by, you know, outlaw biker. It's just very like against the grain of society, so to speak. You know what I mean? And anti-law enforcement, just living as free as possible.
What's like the 1%? What does that mean? Like there's like 99% of something else?
Yeah, so the term came about, I think it was the 40s. It was in Hollister, California. This was like the boom of the motorcycle club culture. You know, there was, you know, like outlaw clubs wasn't really like a official term. It was just some operated a little differently than others. And there was a big weekend that took place in Hollister, California. It was some, you know, event, a rally. And it just turned into an all-out fucking booze fest, and it was just a giant brawl ensued. It was just like, it was like a piece of Americana. And
What, just the illegalness and the fighting, or
it was just that, you know, just the public display of just debauchery, and just, you know, it was just a free for all. And so needless to say, what that did was that that made national news. So needless to say, when it made national news, they the AMA, which is the American Motorcycle Association, they
oh shit, okay.
Yeah,
now you know how they feel about them.
Yeah. They issued a statement publicly that said, well, you know, 99% of all bikers are good, law-abiding, you know, tax-paying citizens. It's only the 1% that, you know, are the problem. So where that came from was all the clubs across America, it caught on. You know, that all the clubs that felt like they went against that grain, that, you know, like they detested that statement. They felt like that statement was like them throwing shade at them. Like if the shoe fit, all the clubs would basically
You
fit
go
that
wear it.
slipper. They said, well, fuck it. If that's the case, then you know what? If 99% of all bikers are good, then fuck it. We're the 1%, you know, that aren't. So stay the fuck away from us. And that's where the term came from. And then, you know, the patch, you know, 1%er became just you, the flag that you flew, so to speak, if you represented that, you know, fringe contingent. And definitely towards the 60s, that became more of like the gold standard. Like if you were the club, once, you know, outlaw clubs started growing in size and dominancy, started taking over areas and claiming them, you know, like the gold standard for that club would be the 1% club. So it's kind of taken on a meaning of its own, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Isn't it gangs?
I don't contest the term anymore. You know what I mean? I'm sure that the organization that I represent would probably love for me to be up here saying like, no, we're not we're just good, regular, everyday people. But you know,
Right.
Brotherhood.
we're a brotherhood. Yes, you know. So no, there's no such thing as biker gangs, just clubs. You know. But I don't, like I said, when people come to me, when they come to me anymore and they say biker gang, I don't even correct them.
I mean,
You know
what
what I
the
mean?
fuck? They got the blue gang, the biggest gang in the world.
Very true.
You know what I mean?
That's what it is.
That's a brotherhood though too, isn't it?
Yeah, fuck
You
that.
know, which is also another hilarious thing. Whenever I see, boo, thank you.
Oh, fuck those fucking people.
It always
man.
makes me laugh when I see, you know, cop clubs, you know, like LE, MCs, you know, law
Leo's,
enforcement MCs, law enforcement MCs, where I'm just like, you already got a fucking club. It's called the cops. You know what I mean?
Right.
But,
And you got the blue wall. What the fuck more you need?
yeah, all right.
Man?
But, yeah, no. So that's, no, that's I tell people all the time. Like, I don't contest it. You know, we fight over colors. We fight over territory. We're willing to kill, die, or go to jail for it. You know, and
This isn't Sons of Anarchy for
No.
those that are tuning in.
no, we believe.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
We believe in a cause that is, you know, much greater than us as the individual. So by technical definition, you know, the only thing that makes this not a gang is the fact that I'm not making money doing this shit. That's why I don't even argue it anymore. I know what the fuck it is and I'm a part of, so I don't contest it. You know what I mean? So
Understood.
Yeah, stand on it, man. That's
But
what
you
we
guys-
do, is man.
you guys do a lot of good things though too, don't you?
Absolutely. Yep.
Like
Yep.
like nonprofit organizations and
do.
stuff like that.
And some people think that, the reason why that is to try and like save face. Like, oh, it's, well, they do turkey drives because it tries to like take attention away. Where it's like, that's kind of the opposite. Like,
Isn't it part of your code of like
100%.
honor?
Ethics, yeah.
It is. You have to, you know what I mean? Like, the days of being like a fucking full blown, terrorist on two wheels is, those days are long gone, man. Like, you have to look out for the people who look out for you. And at the end of the day, I mean, inherently, it's statistically proven that a neighborhood becomes safer when there is the presence of an outlaw motorcycle club, a clubhouse. Whatever neighborhood that clubhouse exists in, the crime rate goes down. Because at the end of the day, and again, I'm not going to say why, but it's also one of the things where we're going to look out for people who look out for us, and you're supposed to do those good things, like you said, community-based things, because it's the right thing to do, not to save face. But naturally, the media, obviously, if the violence is still, that's never going to go away. It's a thing.
Sure,
So
yeah.
when things like that
The
happen,
stigma.
when things like that happen, exactly, the news and the media in general, like that's going to be the focal point that you focus on. So
Yeah, I will say that when I ended up getting my daughter from, and all that situation, they never gave me her clothes or anything, and I reached out, and next thing I know, they had a big drive, and I got all new stuff for her. Like, it was just truly a blessing. So that's coming from someone that's been and like just been a part of that. Got they helped me out. I wasn't in a position to go buy a bunch of new stuff for my daughter, and I was
I
on the
forgot
receiving
about
end of that.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot
man.
about that,
And I'll
yeah.
always remember. I never forget about that, man. Like, that shit helped me out so much. Like,
of course.
yeah.
I love it. I know that it's been next to my ex and the kids, and then my sobriety. It's been absolutely the best.
So you're sober.
Best decision I've ever made. Yeah. Jesus. September 5th, which is my youngest birthday, will be 17 years this September.
It's probably been about, like maybe 7 minutes since I took a
7
shot?
minutes, is that what it was?
Does it bother you?
We're gonna start this time over again.
Not at all. No, I'm an outlaw biker, so trust me, I'm around things all the time. You know what I mean? Things on the light end and the hard end, but it's
That's big.
No.
That's a big hill. That's a big mountain to climb for
Especially
anybody.
being around it. and
yeah.
shit.
Well, it's not the physical thing to me. I can be around anything from people smoking weed to someone tooting a line of crank. You know what I mean? And like little toot. The
Tooting the line, dude.
the actual thing itself, like the physical product, like seeing it, doesn't tempt me. Nor does the act of the usage doesn't tempt me whatsoever. Versus where it would with some people. I'm far long enough into my recovery to where the only thing that really does it for me, where that like voice comes out, is if I'm going through a real dark period to where like
You're mental. It's
Yeah.
your mental.
times of great stress and strife, I might hear that little voice say like, hey, it'd be really easy right now. But that's where, recovery teaches you got to go through your mental checklist. Like when that time comes, you say like, all right, it's the juice worth the squeeze. And because everything in life has, every decision you make has a long-term consequence.
Yes.
So it's like every short-term decision you make has a long-term effect.
Every action has a reaction.
That's it.
Fucking, Newton, whatever the fuck that guy was.
Was it Newton that said that?
I don't fucking know, probably.
What was Marshall? Marshall? Oh, Murphy, not Marshall. Murphy's was what, Frank?
Murphy's Law.
Which one was
Murphy's
that?
Law?
Anything that can go wrong.
Thank you. That's anything that can happen will happen. That's right. Yeah.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks,
Good
Frank.
job, bro.
Appreciate
Thanks,
that.
D.
He's still trying to get the hat to work.
I
He's
felt
still
it.
trying to get the
Just
hat.
getting ready to say, Frank put the smart guy hat on and dropped the ball, man.
Yeah,
It's
that's
awesome.
guy.
You're a pretty interesting dude. Like we've
Thank
known
you,
each
man.
other for better part of what, maybe 20 years, not that long, maybe like 15 years
Something
at least.
close to that. Yeah.
And you're somebody I've never had to, question your loyalty. You've always been, a solid dude. And I say, I say that to say this, that you very interesting, man. Like, I know a lot of your past and, how you handle things. You're very rational. But, man, on the musical tip, though, I'll tell you what, man, you're up there, bro. You can do your own, make your own everything. You can build your own song from scratch, play the drums to the bass to the guitar. Well, you play a flute or like a saxophone or something.
No,
like,
I don't. I wish I
lose
could.
my shit. I come out here see Will play the fucking flute.
but no, everything else is real. Like, that's a real thing, right? The lyrics, sing this, like all of it.
I totally forgot.
Yeah,
I seen
dude.
you used to MC.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's how we all met.
That's how we all fucking
We all
met.
met.
Yeah.
Y'all were just coming off the Basement Pro thing.
All day audio.
Yeah, so ADA.
No, but it was
Pro.
pre ADA, but it was just off of the Basement Pro thing. Because when I first met you, I first met y'all both over at your old place, and
Well, I came out to that video shoot, Body in the River.
that's right, you did.
Yeah. He
then
was the first one. He was like,
That's it.
he was like, yo, this is cool. This guy's a legit guy. We gotta talk to him more.
Yeah, because
right.
the other person I met from Lancaster
Didn't quite turn out
He
so
wasn't
well.
as cool. No, that guy was a nerd, yo.
Yo.
That guy was a straight dweeb.
Yeah.
White
We
guy.
don't need to say names.
Yeah.
But needless to say, because I remember it was me, Bebo, Coney Isle, I think JG, and then
Holy shit! I never heard of these
Van
names.
Blue, yeah.
Van Arena.
Yeah.
The cool. That they came up. We all came up, and I remember we got lost on the way, and we came up, and we just had. Yeah, because it was when I first met you and KK, and who was the one guy I liked, the basketball guy? Corey.
Sure.
Was it Corey?
Corey.
I think.
Did he rap?
No, but
Was
he was
he
a
up
friend.
here? You talking about up
From
here?
Milton. He was at the party. I remember that. And then y'all all knew him. And then
I can't single out one party. when you
It
come to
was like a
Sam's
Sunday
house,
barbecue. It was a barbecue. I remember, and
I definitely remember it.
who was there?
Jimmy?
Now, who's the guy that kind of sang? Foo.
Oh, yeah.
Foo was there.
Damn.
Foo Love. And, and we all had...
That's a blast from the
we all had... I remember we were all cooking out and everything. And it was like the Lancaster crew were meeting these guys. And we hit it off. And then we had a fucking... a cipher. And we were just spitting bars. We just had a cipher. We didn't record nothing. It wasn't for no social media. This was like... it wasn't pre-social media, but it was
Vine was big back
thing.
then.
But yeah, so we weren't doing nothing. And I remember Vine. Yeah. But I know that I remember that cipher because Food Love started singing, and all of us was like, "Oh shit! All right." And then you remember Bebo died.
Oh shit!
For 3 seconds. You don't remember this, so y'all were passing. That boy had just started smoking weed. And now he was so green. Remember him? He was very socially awkward. So it took him a long time to catch up with life. And he had just started smoking weed. And y'all gave him a bowl.
Allegedly.
So he was allegedly. Yeah, of course, allegedly. Sorry. Y'all gave him a bowl. I'll never forget. It was
allegedly.
It was like some kind of wild strain with another wild strain's keef on top. So it was like a Super Bowl, and this poor man allegedly took a rip, and I'll never forget. You were fucking rapping. You were rapping, and you were getting it too. And at one point,
Who you rap?
No,
I did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he do. He used to. Yeah. So I remember he was getting, and then all of a sudden, out my peripheral, I just see a body, and I just hear like a thud on the ground, and we're all like, "Oh shit!" And Bebo was on the ground, he's going, "What?" And we're like, "Oh shit!" And it was the biggest laugh. You have when in full body laughs where we fall out.
Yeah, that's so
because
funny.
he must have took a rip
Were we in
while you were rapping, and then he literally just. like died and hit the ground and revived back again.
Kill him.
And then I came up it was like we hit it off so well that like the next month or two, I actually came up, I think, on my own. Or like a year, or however long. Yeah. And then, no, it was a year later. And I remember that was when I had met, you introduced me to Travis.
Oh, yeah.
And there was another boy over there, and we did some stuff in your...
Milton Bradley.
He's nasty, too.
Yeah. And we all went to a couple of little bars in Lewisburg that night. But that was like the solidification to where I was like these dudes... But then it became a thing for a couple years.
I think I remember what you're talking about. This is Sammy's design. Sammy said all this shit.
He did.
But weren't you up here like before that with like hardcore shit?
I was waiting to bring that up because I was like, I've known Frank for like you and I officially met at his wedding.
Yeah, but we
had one of them. You weren't there. You were doing your thing, but Frank and I had one of the moments where we're like. Where are you from? Like, what's your story? And then Frank was like, did you used to go to shows? And I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. Yeah. I used to love the scene up here, man. This whole area.
It was good for punk and, like, metal.
And with the hardcore shit, it was so... Well, I think of, like, this area specifically. Like, you and I talked about this, too, where, like, there was the Ritz in Muncie. It was the Cell Block in Williamsport. It was the place that across the street from his old house, a Donald Heater Community Center. You know, what the fuck else?
There was tons of them. There was the spot down here on 15, on River Road on the.
There was one right down here on.
There's My House Cafe.
My House Cafe.
Yep.
One in Watsontown.
Yep.
That one at the campus.
You
know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Oh, and all that. And
we did
the Ritz or some shit.
The Ritz was cool. The Ritz got shut down because that kid got hurt. I think it was. Yeah. And I remember the Ritz was kind of fucked up because the floor. Because it was an old movie theater because it was like dipped down, so moshing was a motherfucker.
How do y'all fucking remember this shit?
Oh, because that was such a time. That was a time period in the life. That like early mid 2000s was just like
that was forever ago.
Because that was like back then that was our life. That was like what we did. And all them bands like it was like
makes me realize Lancaster, Scranton, State College, Altoona.
Oh yeah,
Clearfield.
Clearfield had a great scene. Yeah,
going to.
You used to do something. You used to bounce too, right?
Oh yeah, I did.
How'd you get into that? Just your size?
By a fluke too, because the place that I started bouncing at, I was quote unquote banned for life prior to that. So it was like, you know, it's funny. The Chameleon Club in Lancaster, you know, R.I.P. Chameleon Club.
Is that gone now?
Yeah, it didn't survive COVID, unfortunately.
Cool. Really?
Yeah, it was a shame. Oh, yeah, they actually they cut the stage into I think 300 equal sized squares, about like that big, and they put them on nice plaques and they sold them off.
Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah, really dope.
So that's gone. Come on.
Dumb. But
Sam was the first one I think to take me there, dude. Is that Chameleon Club?
No, y'all came to see me when I was working at Reverb for a little bit in Reading.
I don't think I ever went to the Chameleon Club.
We never went to the Chameleon Club.
Wait, did you see DMX? Was that you?
Nope. I've never seen DMX. I regret that still to this day.
I didn't see him either. I opened up for him, and he didn't get there till 10 minutes before. Yeah, bro. Everybody was booing. People were pissed.
So you
didn't perform for 10 minutes and dipped.
So you didn't even get to see the fucking DMX?
Nah, I have. He kicked everybody out of the back room, too.
I worked security for him a couple times, and the first time there was the infamous situation at Reverb where we were all part of that, where we almost fought him and his whole crew.
What's the infamous situation?
I think I heard about that from my cousin.
Because your cousin, I think, was there that night, and I don't know if he was. I think he may have left because he wasn't working, but he was there hanging out.
Okay, yeah.
But no, it was. The picture. There's a picture of it online because fucking Omar snuck. He did one of these joints and snuck a picture of the confrontation, and you could see DMX's security guy pointing at Omar, telling him to put the phone away. But it was me, Snackman, Roscoe. I think Chad was in the room. It was because
Roscoe's
you're gonna have to elaborate.
Yeah, they are. And listen. R.I.P. DMX. First and foremost, what a fucking fantastic show! Yeah,
let me hit him with one too.
Oh, I remember that.
And I remember that. Well, the show was
crazy.
What happened?
like in concert, truth be told, the only concerts I've ever been to are
Yours.
the one with you.
Oh, we went and saw
Baltimore.
Twist. We
Kenny
went and saw
Rogers.
Twisted.
That's not bad. That's
Yeah.
great. That's a whole lot I didn't want to
Kenny
expect
You
that.
saw Kenny Rogers?
Yes.
Because I'm a country boy, so that's
Yes, he
okay.
is my
Fuck
favorite.
yeah, the gambler.
And what was his name? Dave East.
And Dave East. Okay, well that's funny you say that to
So,
us.
but
Dave East played that DMX
I
show.
heard that DMX
shit.
was like a little dude. Is that true?
Yeah, he's not the biggest guy. It's a hard. I know I kind of have a bad frame of reference because I'm 6'4", almost 300 pounds. But like it's.
But no, like
it's,
little, like my size. Like I'm 5'7".
Yeah, he's probably a little taller than you, but he wasn't that tall, and he was very. I mean, he was fit, but he was very skinny too. I guess he had such a larger
He was
life
5'11".
persona. 5'11".
Oh
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, but
I
he was,
thought he
you
was
know.
like shorter.
No, I don't remember him being that short. I just remember he was real thin. But so yeah, that show was Dave East and then fucking Beans, opening.
Davey,
and,
that's a R&B though, ain't it?
no, he's a you might be thinking like Tory Lanez. No, Dave East is
Nope.
a big rapper. And matter of fact, well, Dave East actually is a rapper, and he also acted on that the Wu-Tang biopic.
Okay,
They did
cool.
on Hulu. Yeah. I forget which one he played, but he so DMX plays.
He played Raekwon. I think I know who you're talking
Did he?
about. Yeah. I think.
Okay, but DMX played, killed it, and I remember that was a fucking bag 'em tag 'em night, man. Like there were so many fights. We were real busy that night. You know what I mean? And I'll never forget. And I remember after the show, everything was all like, like once you're done, everyone gets out the club. In typical bouncer world, everyone, all the patrons leave. You do like your loose cleanup, and then like it's the best part of the shift is the unwind at the end of the night. Like some guys get their payout and they go home right away. A lot of guys will stay. It's that camaraderie. It's a brotherhood. You know what I mean? Like that was, to be honest with you, not like to deviate from the story, but like my real introduction to genuine brotherhood was working at the Chameleon Club, because who ended up being my club mentor for the Emcee, like half of the door staff was in the club that I'm a part of. So like that was my introduction to that. So, but there's a real genuine brotherhood there. So fast forward to Reverb, that's happening. Everyone's unwinding. At some point, DMX is like one of his managers. I don't think she was like a tour manager, more like a day-to-day. She was a girl. She was really fucking friendly. I remember she was really cool the whole day. And she had come down, hey guys, thank you, again. You guys do a fucking great job. She really she showed love, and she said, if anybody wants pictures, you guys are more than welcome. I don't ever do.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
And so she's
Christina.
I can't remember for the life of me what her name was, but she was fucking super friendly. She was very pretty. Not that detail's
Spanish.
important, but I remember. Yeah,
Yes.
and so I'm not a picture guy, because having worked concert security for so long, I've been face to face and
They point you out and try to get you or something.
No, it was just I've had so many conversations with people that maybe I looked up to, as a youngster, and like I just I'm not like as enamored by it, but I think also too, being who I guess, or what I am, that's a corny ass look for me to be like fucking in the position that I am, also being like a little fanboy and shit.
Yes.
It's like, no, I'm not. So, but when they said that, so I was like, hey, I'm good. I appreciate that. Thank you. So a couple guys, went up, and I remember I'm hanging out with the owner, my brother. He's a brother of mine. Shout out Chris.
Shout Chris.
Shout out Chris. And I'll never forget. And listen, he's the one that posted the fucking picture and has talked about it publicly, so I don't have a problem saying the story. So our homegirl,
Stop self-snitching.
Yeah, right. No, our homegirl, Brooklyn. Shout out to our girl Brooklyn. Yeah, so Brooklyn
yes, love you, Brooklyn.
She comes down and she's got this look on her face. She's like this, and we're like, she walks up to both of us and we're like, "What's up?" And she's like, I don't know if you're gonna like this, boss. And he's like, "What's up?" You know what I mean? And he's already got half a bag tied on, and he's got a fucking like a hairpin, like temper. So she said he drew on the wall. We're like, who you talking about? And she said, X. And I was like, and we're like, what? So he had just did a fresh coat of fucking paint all on the green. The green room was not like, it was there's certain green rooms you go into in concert venues where it's just a dirty fucking backstage.
That's what it is.
But no, Reverb, it was super fucking clean. It was very like a VIP type.
Real nice.
Yeah.
Good.
And it was fucking, he had just put a fresh coat of fucking paint on. And he's like, what do you mean? She's like, I got a picture of it. And she shows us the phone. And it'd be one thing if it was a little like, X was here, but it was on some like real like, yeah, like he just like saw a fucking blank wall.
You fuck me.
Yeah. Like he just saw a blank wall and just took a notion like, I'm gonna fucking do all this. Like I could see if maybe there was a bunch of other shit or one or two other things. So we,
Well, it's fresh wall, man.
I mean, I hear you, but yeah,
Now you speak.
right.
Now you speak.
So, so Chris looks at that picture and he kind of smiles and he's like, I don't really know how to feel about that.
Well, right,
and
because you could be like happy that
but
a
but
star signed it. You could make money off of that. I don't know.
but yes and no. Yes, in that you're not wrong, but also too, again, I think when you're around it enough, like the concert venue things, where like again you
over it.
Yeah, you become like desensitized to that. To where
Yeah,
like,
you know that someone's paying for that shit.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
So he says, I don't know how to feel about this. And before I could even mouth the words, what do you want to do? I probably got out, what do you want? And he just starts walking towards the fucking green room. I said, oh, fuck, here we go. So I get to following him. And Roscoe was coming from out the back. And he was like, Chris. And Chris just like ignored Roscoe, which is a very rare thing. So Roscoe looks at me. Big Steve was like, shout out to Roscoe, by the way.
Yeah, shout out
Roscoe.
Yeah.
And Roscoe looks at me. He's like, Willie, like, what's up? And he's like, you good? I was like, nah. Like I said, nah, probably not. Yeah. Because DMX he didn't bring like a fucking ton of people, but he probably had a solid like 8 to 10 guys there. You know what I mean? And so we just walk upstairs, and listen, I admire the set of nuts on Chris because we walked in the fucking green room, and at that point it was like a couple security, like I know Chad and Snackman and them were like already in the green room. Cause remember that lady had come out and like invited us up there, and I remember it was him. He had a couple girls up there and like all his crew, and there's DMX right there. And Chris just fucking beelines and says, yo, motherfucker, you want? And he said, you like writing on motherfuckers' walls? Like he was just like about it, and immediately the whole fucking his whole entourage was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So we stepped in, we're like, nah, like no, like let them fucking, you know what I mean? So it was very like evenly staffed, and that's all Chris said, and what ensued. Shout out to DMX, rest in peace. But I swear to God, watching DMX vehemently trying to defend himself was exactly what you thought it was. It was just him. He's fucking doing this, and what he's trying to do is he's trying to explain. He's trying to explain like nah, like you don't understand. Like this is like me showing love. This is like that's basically what we're getting. But his whole approach was wrong. But he was talking so fast. And he was doing it in that fucking DMX voice, you know what I mean? And like, and he's doing this. And listen, at this point, we're all quiet. We're all letting them have, like, we're like, look, we're letting them have their moment. DMX got this fucking uncle with this guy. I don't know if it's his actual uncle, but it's just everyone's calling him Unc.
I was gonna say, you mean Unc? Is that who you're talking about?
New Unc, and he's got this fucking ridiculous fucking mink. You know what I mean? Like it's the most obnoxious old head New York fucking fur, whatever on, and every time it gets to a point where every time DMX starts saying something, he like reaches over my shoulder because where I was standing, of me, Chris, DMX right here, and he'd be like, nah, and he like tap Chris's shoulder and be like, no, yeah, like he co-signed everything the fucking DMX said and try to like explain as if he's not explaining himself enough. So at one point I kind of like reached because he kept fucking bumping on my shoulder. I reached back, I pushed him back a little bit. I said, yo man, I said chill. I said, he was like, you don't see none of us. I didn't say this, but I said, yo, just chill, man. Because I'm thinking about, like, you don't see none of us co-signing for him. Like, he don't need you co-signing. Yeah. And of course, then that turned into a whole thing. He was like, he took his fucking mink off. What the fuck are you talking to? And I was, I'm fucking talking. So it turned, and then that's when at that point, so Omar had come up in the dressing room and snapped a fucking picture, and the security guard seen this and all this, and it was DMX head of security. He was a really cool guy, and at that point he's like, all right, he's like, we're done, because I think that it was one of them things where like I would have gave him all the respect in the world had they actually gone through and like a fucking Donnie broke out, But what I can tell you, and this is not like goofy tough guy talk, it was just not only the amount of guys that were on our side in there, but it was also like, there was some motherfuckers in there to where I was like, it wouldn't have been a viable thing for them to do. But that's not, like, again, that's not me being Mr. Tough Guy, because I have been in similar situations like that on the opposite end too, to where you're like, you got to make a fucking political decision right now.
Yes.
So thankfully it got resolved, because then he ended up coming back probably 2 times after that before his passing and played there, and him and Chris, like that situation made them closer, and it was a fucking funny story to tell. But the thing was the next day I remember Chris saying, like, dude, I'm really glad that, like, we didn't do what we thought we were going to do that night, because that actually, if you remember, that fucking performance was like, we didn't know if he was going to show up, because that was 2 days after he was all on TMZ, because he went to the hospital for that, like, lung incident. Yeah, they thought that he was fucking dead. Yeah. And so he was a trending topic in the tabloids for like that whole week. So they were like, Chris was like, this would have been a fucking PR nightmare. Because TMZ would have picked it up, like, DMX and crew beat up at a fucking nightclub in Reading. It was like it would have been. So I understand. So like I said, I can sit here and tell the story and say, like, we almost did this and ha ha ha. But, like, I'm really glad that it didn't happen, because it was.
Dude, probably worked out for the best.
Dude, that show that he put on, though, he
fucking killed it.
He was possessed, dude. Like, he gave the people there the best fucking show.
Really?
Dude, I guarantee that's all anybody ever. People are still probably talking about it today. You know what I mean? Like, it was a good show. I just seen, like, on Facebook where people taking videos of it and all that, because back then I don't think you could go live, so they were just posting videos.
Okay.
And dude,
that was 2016.
Yeah, that 2016. But that's what I'm saying is, like, you could see the video and you could feel the energy from the show through the video, dude. Like, it was fucking crazy.
Like I told you, on security standpoint, his entire set, I only got to catch his set in pieces, because it was like some shit would fucking jump off, and we were plucking motherfuckers, from the fight and dragging them outside. And by the time we would get back inside, it'd be like the fucking constant rotation situation. So the energy was live. It was definitely It was.
You could probably YouTube like DMX Reading or Reverb, you know what I mean, and find footage from that show, because it's that good that I know people definitely were posting that on YouTube. Like, it was good.
That's good shit.
Yeah, bro. Crazy.
You want to take a break right now?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Oh, we take breaks?
Yeah.
I'm Kenny Fresno, and this is a 2008 Mazda 6. I'm in recovery edition. I'm gonna piss some people off with this one. Chrome gas cap thingy? Check. Hasn't been washed in about 9 months? Check. Donut still on the wheel? Check. Yep. You'll definitely find 5 or 6 of these in your local church parking lot 3 nights a week during the hours of 7 to 9. Come for the support, stay for the free coffee. The only way this hunk of shit would be more obvious is if it had vanity plates that fucking read drug court on them. Look, you shouldn't make fun of people in recovery, okay? It's a serious issue. I'm in it. I got like 3 days clean. Things are going great. I got a new boyfriend. He's got neck tattoos.
He told me that he's since gone back a couple different times to try and get that amended.
Get a cap on that.
To get it amended. But the way that the fucking judge worked it was, they said, if you were capable of making that much before, you're capable of doing it again. So they never amended it. So most everything that he made, he like literally had to make at least $60K a month just to support this fucking shit. And at the end of the day, so he's like, I have to put this band together that I don't even want to put together and go on a tour I don't want to go on just to make the money. And it was the most depressing fucking shit. And then a couple months later, he ends up in a fucking hotel room dead. And it was like, but that was a real bummer, that situation. You know what I mean? So when he said about negative million, that reminded me of Scott Weiland. You know what I mean? But yeah.
That kind of business is pretty fucked up, though. The people that don't know about it, you probably get to see a lot of the insides of it.
There's such a dark side to it, you know what I mean? And it's
all you can really do.
Not firsthand, more secondhand. Most all my music experience thus far has been DIY touring and shit like that. But he's trying to get your attention. Honest with me. He was trying to get your attention. But
What?
Yeah, but needless to say, that was.
$60K a month.
What?
Can you imagine that?
Child support.
Why didn't anybody say?
That's wild.
That is.
But anyway, my bad. You know, no, we were walking. You walked out. We were talking about. He was talking about DMX's debt, and you know, and
Sammy, you said $1 million. Is that
Negative.
-$1 million
was what his net worth was before he passed away.
I believe that.
That's insane.
And I talked about how like Scott Weiland from Stone Temple
What
Pilots before he
happens
passed
then,
away. Oh, I don't know.
I mean, what happens then, really, honestly? Like,
Not like a hospital bill. Your family's
can
not going
answer
to take
for
care of
the
it.
Yeah.
I bet they send like the IRS in when you have that much money though. That's $1 million. They probably auction off all your shit. They're probably like,
Yeah, they'll get it some way.
they're just
they're fucking.
getting rid of all this
They'll
shit.
probably have
They
like,
cash-
you know, they probably get a percentage of
Liquidate
royalties.
everything.
Yeah, royalties.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
They probably own his royalties.
They
was gonna
might.
say.
Yeah.
They really might just own his royalties. I wonder who does own that.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, Def
Like,
Jam,
how does
obviously,
that-
but like, I'm sure, you know, Big Brother does whatever the fuck it wants.
Yeah,
you know,
because
you know.
if they own the royalties or whatever, and the IRS could get the money, they would probably hound the fucking record company. or
Yeah,
whatever.
they would be
Yeah.
like, look, either this is happening or this is happening.
Yeah, it's gonna
They
happen.
strong arm because that's what
Yeah.
the fuck Big Brother does.
That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They're handing anything.
Yeah, they'll use their power to the fullest extent of their abilities.
What do you
That's
think?
it.
Is there hope for him? You got to
Say
save all your
something
money.
Smart. What?
You got to save all your money then.
Say
Basically.
something smart. What?
No, I'm trying. I'm fucking trying. I got fucking Bigfoot over here, and I got Big Bowler Hat over here.
You can't even see past that.
Yeah.
I can't even see you right
Yeah,
now.
I'm back here, believe me.
Yeah.
But like, what does that mean? You have to save all your fucking money when you're on tour? Like, you can't. You either have to create the company that you're an artist in to secure the money.
Well, I mean, really, the company is just like a bank.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
like, you know, honestly, a record label is pretty much like a bank with a high interest rate.
Right.
They'll do what they, you know, they're looking at you as a product that they can sell and make money
Sure.
off of.
Right.
So, you know, obviously you'll get a percentage of that money, but that's, you know, especially on a 360 deal. A lot of these artists, I think we spoke on this before about
think so,
a 360 deal because a lot of people don't understand what that means. That means the record company is going to get money from you 360 degrees. Whether merch, whether streams, whether this, whether that, like they're taking it from every
You're
fucking
getting
where.
nothing.
Yeah.
Where some artists, you know, merch is where you make your fucking money.
Merch and touring. You know, record sales don't do what they used to do
No,
anymore. So.
like yo, if you're serious about your merch, like there's people that will go. You know, there's this one dude out here. He's not even an artist. He just does stuff for Gathering of the Juggalos. He'll go to Fest and he'll make 30 grand in a weekend.
Sure.
30
Just
fucking
merchandise.
grand.
Just
Just
selling merchandise.
just merchandise
And
and,
he's not an
pictures
artist or
and
anything.
nothing. No.
No.
But he does do stuff for, you know, he does stuff for like
Artists.
yeah,
and stuff.
ICP and
Right,
shit.
okay. Ooh,
You know,
ICP?
yeah, he'll make their, you know, cover art or some graphics as some cool shit, and then,
Sure.
you know, he'll get a percentage of that sale. But you know, when it's him out there, you know, because that's why a lot of venues will charge artists. Sometimes they will just charge a
15
percentage.
or 20%. That's
Yeah.
what both the venues I worked at did.
Yeah.
Which I was never a fan of that.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
never
corny.
was. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But, well, a record label anymore now is like a brokerage service. If you look at it, like it used to be the big thing for the longest time, you know, forever was, man, if you landed a record deal, then that was it. That was the pinnacle milestone that you had made it. But, you know, anymore now, how many people sign a deal and then in a year's time, you know, that they fall off the face of the earth and, you know, they end up broken in debt because, well, we were talking about finances. Like a lot of the things, the flashy things that you see them have, the material things, the houses, the cars, the jewelry, that's all purchased and gifted to them by the label. So the thing is when they get dropped, they have to give all that shit back. But a record label, essentially, what they're able to do for you is pay for your recording, you know, for your albums. They're able to print and press records for you. They're able to distribute records for you. And, you know, essentially they could help you get in with booking companies and book tours. But the irony, if you look at it, all these like successful underground artists, You know what I mean? Like everyone knows, like the ICPs, like the Tech Nines, as far as like the hip hop stuff, to where like these
Tom
guys.
McDonald.
That's another one right there, to where like So needless to say, the thing is that when you realize with the dawn of the internet now, you can actually all those things you actually can do yourself, and it's become so much more apparent now to people.
Well,
that,
you
like,
always could, but I think it's
it
easier
was,
said than done, don't you think?
Well, it was easier said than done a while ago, and it still is. I'm not saying it's a fucking simple process, but the point is that you now have all the same, because record sales are not like a thing anymore. The biggest artists, the top 40 artists, will be lucky if they'll sell 100,000 physical units or something, versus where it might have been 10 million at one point in time. Yeah. But the point is that all the same streaming platforms, which are the biggest carriers of their music, is the same shit that guys like Sam and I, Frank could put, a band together and get on that same fucking streaming platform. So the thing is that all the streaming platforms are available to you. YouTube is a huge thing. It no longer costs $1 million to shoot a fucking music video. You know what I mean? There's so many good dudes out here with fucking cameras to do their thing that like you can pay $1,000 and.
But it's still not cheap, I don't think, man.
It depends.
It
You
depends.
start with a budget.
Yeah, and you can now good quality studio quality recording is literally like you could load Pro Tools on your fucking computer and get all the presets and make quality records. So the only other thing would be, and you can pay to press all your own stuff.
You know how much it costs to run a fucking a license for fucking Pro Tools in a year right now?
It's literally
Pirate the
you
shit,
can go
bro.
month to month.
Pirate the shit. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
pirate it.
Yeah, it's like
You can literally get. I was doing it. I was paying like $30 a month to have Pro Tools.
But you don't need.
Did you have it hacked or something?
But listen, what I'll say is you don't need Pro Tools.
400.
You easily
It
can.
says on there the license.
Well, hold
That's
on.
a year.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Pro Tools is the industry standard.
Not
However,
for what you're
Not bad at
getting.
all.
however, like
It's worth it.
the first record that I ever put out, the first band that I ever did any touring with was Your Nightmare Awaits, and it was fucking that record was the only record I've ever done that was distributed nationwide, and that was recorded on fucking Apple Logic, on Logic Pro, and the studio I go to right now is comparable to any fucking radio quality of anything, and the guy uses Reaper. Reaper's a free program. So the point is that like and dude, and some of the fucking hardcore bands that we listened to back in the day would put out demo. And they would get them mastered, and they still be decent quality on fucking GarageBand. So the thing is, the purpose of what I'm trying to say is that everything that a label used to be able to do for you, you can do yourself. So that's why a lot of these guys are just independently doing their thing, and then they'll sign maybe a distribution deal or something. Like you get so the record labels now are in a position to where like they're kind of like shaking in their boots because they realize like all they are is a brokerage service.
But didn't Drake do that?
Did he?
What?
Didn't he write, produce, record all his
That's not
stuff in the
Drake.
beginning?
Maybe, but
I thought he had
Like
his
Thank
own.
Me Later, like way back
Again,
then.
like in the very, very
No, because he was
I think
always-
that's what he said, but it came out to be that,
That
he
it
really
wasn't true.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
but
he
no,
was
but who
under
put him
so
out,
much
though?
fire.
who was the first label to put him out?
It was Young Money, Cash Money.
Nah, but before that, it was someone different.
Disney, it was an expansion of Canadian Disney that worked in there because he was on that fucking show.
Degrassi.
And he met the sound producer there who had stakes in that fucking record company. And from that moment on, he invested all his money in his I want to be a rapper, not a guy remembered from being a cripple.
In a wheelchair.
And a wheelchair. And guess what? He played the fucking right chord.
Yeah,
did.
yeah, good for him. You know what I mean? And that
Shout
that
out
fucking
Drake.
that first record was so good.
So
That
then
fucking
I don't like Drake.
no,
Must
I
be a
fucking
hater.
I fuck with Drake.
You don't like Drake?
Nah, I don't fuck
What's
with
there not to like about the motherfucker?
Just I know too much about like the career. Like, and I think of all the other guys that deserve it out there that never got it. And I don't
Kyle
think
doesn't
it-
like Disney rappers.
Ooh, how about
but
No,
this?
God loves Disney
But
rappers.
you can't hate somebody for
No,
capitalizing on
but
an
I don't fuck with
opportunity.
it. No, I don't hate it. I just don't listen.
I think he makes pretty good music.
I think he
honestly.
does too.
I
I
Yeah.
used to be a Drake hater, but then you know
Yeah,
what?
but it's
No,
not.
he's dope.
I
Really? But why?
gave
What
up
was your reason?
because I was
Yeah,
like
but
I
it's
said
not-
I was being a hater, and I eventually just gave up and like you know what? This
Because
guy's
it was
actually
easy.
pretty good.
Decent.
It was probably
Yeah.
easy because I used to do the same bullshit with like Lil Wayne, and like because he was the biggest one, and then Jay-Z
Yes.
or Rick Ross But then at some point you hit a point where you're like, no, this dude's like, this shit is fucking dope.
Alright,
but then you start traveling the country and you start being in nightclubs and you start hearing DJ rotations and different things and you see like
the reaction of the people,
you know, and how much some of that shit still fucking stands the test of time to where you're like, you know what, I can't hate on this no more. What
do you mean?
But wait. Can I ask y'all a question?
Sure.
Since I have a full male crowd, right? Because I've asked. And
we got the certified lover boy behind us.
How do you guys take Beyonce? How do you receive
I like
her?
Beyonce's music.
I'm not necessarily. I'm talking about as a whole. Because he's sitting there talking about he don't like Drake because such and such, not because of his music, but because of such and such. So I want to ask, as a whole, how do you feel about her? And then I have two other artists I want to ask you about, and you know those two.
My take on Beyonce is, well, look, I love Destiny's Child. You know what I mean? I'm such a huge like R&B head too. So like, I love Destiny's Child. I think she's insanely gorgeous. But as someone who also likes singing and vocal talent, you know, I love like the R&B singers with the vocal acrobatics. Like she's become like the gold standard, like to imitate that, like, you know. So she's a incredible vocal talent. But I think that a lot of like even her and Hove both, there's a part of me that really admires the like anonymity and like how they've maintained being the biggest artists because there's like they create that shroud of mystery around them. However, I also have heard enough stories, like I've watched enough interviews from like industry people who are just like, you know, like there was one situation, there was like a producer who's like Rico Love, there was like a lot of like her shit, Rihanna, all that stuff. And I watched a fucking interview recently where it was like Rico Love was talking about how like Beyonce called him one day from a fucking anonymous number because she was recording stuff for this recent album she did and was like, hey, listen, it's B, like I got this studio booked tonight, you know, like, you know, I need you there, you know. And most people will be like, fuck yeah. And he's like, oh shit. But he said, oh, you know what, my grandmama, who I haven't seen in a long time, is coming in from out of town, like, you know, what about tomorrow or whatever. And he said, and apparently what she said was, okay, so I'll see you tonight. And he was like, all right, bet. And everyone in the room in that interview was laughing. But I felt some kind of way, and thank God I like clicked on the comments and I was reading, and everybody thinks I was the same way. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, who the fuck are you? Yeah. You know, to tell like not and I think that I don't know, I've never been at that point in my career. I've never had an opportunity like that. So I can't sit here and say that I can knock him. But with me being who and what I am, I have to take that consideration to where it's like no one is that entitled over anything of mine. So I hear shit like that. And then with Jay-Z, similar stuff to where it's like, I feel like I have enough of a grip from the outside looking in of who they are as humans. And I'm not really like huge on that, but musically, all day. All day, you know what I mean? That's my opinion on Beyonce. Yeah.
And my Drake beef stems from the fact that I think a lot of other people do his work and he takes the credit for all their work, and he doesn't like giving credit. Maybe he does,
sure.
Maybe not enough. I don't know.
Sure. Okay.
Enough that I feel that's disrespectful to the people that actually help you. The good MCs, the good musicians.
You remember when Pusha T called him out about having a kid that he doesn't...
shit like that. He won't even admit he has a fucking kid because he thinks it'll make him look bad. Like,
I wasn't hiding my kid from the world. I was hiding my world from...
The world
from my kid. Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on Beyonce?
I don't know.
Beyonce, I like Beyonce, man. You know, how can you... She's like, what, the first lady now, like, you know, with Jay-Z. You know, they're a power couple. They're a power couple, right? So, you know, they you know, that Bonnie and Clyde song that they did, that John was all that. You know, they kind of made a staple, like, yo, we here, we ain't going nowhere. And, you know, I think that I know she's got to. I'm sure she does, you know, stuff for the community. And, you know, I'm not gonna say I don't know. I'm just assuming because, you know, she seems like that type of person that would do something like, you know, something to be, you know.
I think you probably likely have a better soul than the both of them do. That's my opinion. You know what I mean? It's because I love you.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Frank, I want to hear you.
I was just saying, I enjoy her music and like her talents and stuff, but aside as like her character, who she is, like, that's not my bubble. I'm outside of that bubble. So it's like I don't like her enough to care about what goes on in her world. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
That's just my take on it.
Well, she's incredibly talented. The woman is gifted beyond measure. Her energy is wrong for me.
Yeah, that's
I admire the whole power couple thing. I think it's amazing how much they have each other's back and they go and they get it together.
But like that mystery, like just turn off.
You know, but it's not even the mystery. It's like she's lying to the whole, like, I feel that shit in my soul. I don't even know how to explain it. I would never deny that she is talented, like I said, but for me, it's bigger than that, and I could never be a fan.
I always felt the same way that you did, and then, like I said, when I seen that interview recently, I was like, that's kind of, and again, I hate to be the guy, like, because, you know, it's always annoying the type of people who, they don't search for information, they search for affirmation, to where it's like, I just need something to make my point feel valid.
Make me sure.
But that was one of them times where I was like, that was the affirmation that I needed, where I was like, she probably sucks. So as a human, so
what interview are we speaking on?
it was the one, I forget what the platform was, but it was Rico Love, the songwriter. He's an R&B singer, but he's a big songwriter, does a lot of shit for like all the big artists, and that was what it was. That whole like,
I'll have to check it out.
yeah, I'll have to see if I can send it to you. But just the notion of like me as a human, not me on the totem pole of fucking industry, but me as a human being. You can't be that far removed from fucking human real life shit as an artist to where you want to work with someone and you throw them a bone and they say to you, hey, listen, all due respect, I can't, today, but I can give you this day. And you say like, no, that ain't going to work. And like, that's bullshit. Because I think for me, said that? That's what she said. Yeah, that's what I said. Shit. So she said like, yo, I got the studio booked out for today. I need you here. Like, let's make some magic happen. He was like, okay, listen, my grandmama, who I haven't seen in a while, is coming into town. How about tomorrow? And she said, okay, so I'll see you tonight. Like, she really like strong on him like that. And for me, as a fucking 1%er, and I hate throwing that out there because, like, I like being able to sit in rooms like this and have like normal fucking conversations. But as a 1%er and as a goddamn 1%er leader, I look at it like this. There's 2 motherfuckers on planet Earth that can call me and command my presence. And motherfucker, you are not one of them. You know what I mean? No matter where you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So that's my biggest thing.
I wasn't aware that she acted that
way.
Yeah,
like,
so.
I just think that, like, I don't know.
She has a whack moral compass.
That's it.
You're a sun person like me, and I know you gotta know what I'm saying. It's so...
You don't know shit.
Fuck you, Kyle.
I don't know shit. Look at his hat.
Seriously, that's why I'm like not interested in that personal bubble.
Right,
of hers.
like
it's
I can't. Yeah, musically,
yeah.
But I also, on the music tip though too, I've seen that she like takes a lot of other people's shit. It's one thing to be inspired, but it's another thing to like bold face. Bam! Here it is again, and I'm doing it better. Like it's different.
So we're doing cover songs or doing a cover song and
not even just a cover song, but total style.
Still
same outfit, same hair, same everything. Like you're mocking this bitch.
I mean, I remember the Super Bowl. She killed that shit.
Scene. You mocked women who are icons.
Yeah,
and I don't feel as though she's
that's just brave.
Giving a good embodied like. I don't feel as though it's coming from a place of endearment or admiration.
I think she's a fucking monster.
I think she's saying,
she knows
I am that.
She knows she's the monster in the cage. She knows it. She's like, I'm going to be the monster.
Here, I'm going to do it and it's better.
Yeah, what else you got?
I don't like that. But, Glorilla.
Glow.
I want to hear what people, because I don't get it.
Well, okay, so listen, so as somebody, I'll speak on it because I love, listen, I am.
I don't know who Glorilla is over here.
I
know who Glorilla is. No, I do. But
talk about it though.
No, but
can we play something?
No, I am.
No, definitely we can't play it.
No, I as a self-proclaimed unapologetic, country boy from Pennsylvania. But I also live part-time in Louisiana as well. I spent a lot of my life in the South. So I have just an affinity for just down south, both like down south country culture and urban culture, and like down south music is a big thing for me. So it's like if you spend enough time really down, like I'm like Baton Rouge, you know what I mean, and like in that type of area, like that style of sound and that vibe and that energy of that sound, I'm telling you, it makes a lot more sense when you're down there. Like it sounds wild to say, like, because like put it this way. To her like point is like the reference what I'm trying to give is that you can go to a fucking club, because we'll go to like a club event or like even just a nightclub in Louisiana, and like it's nothing that like every 4 fucking songs, like where up here will you hear fucking like them play Boosie or like fucking Mystical or some shit like that, but in Louisiana, like the vibe will be moderate. And every 4 or 5 songs, they'll drop fucking Boosie or like Mouse on the Track or like these only Louisiana artists. And the fucking place goes nuts because they're like, yo, this is for us. And that whole like Glorilla vibe, like that, like real down south, like simple, like just super ratchet, super hood shit. Like whether I co-sign for it or not, like that whole vibe, that energy she's giving off is like straight. That's what that is down there. But I don't know enough about. I haven't seen enough like interviews, or like know enough about her as a person. But musically, it might not be my necessary thing per se. But like, I'll tell you, I've been in lots of rooms down south where that fucking that fucking big thing she did, and like motherfuckers went nuts. They went nuts. So I got to give credit. You know what I mean?
I'm so upset, y'all too though.
That's wild.
It sounds like
she's
a
a
good
new
thing.
she's a new artist. You know what I mean? She's just
I don't know,
super fucking super down south. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah, I don't know.
super hood, super ratchet. You know what I mean?
Try to listen to her? Like actually listen to her?
I don't know. I think I have, but her.
Brother, you okay?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I'm right in the middle of something. Call you back, okay? All right. Sorry, it was a club call. Just want to make sure. Yeah.
I have listened, but like I can only get so far because it's not just how she sounds. It's her lyrics. It's what she's saying.
Oh, it's whack.
And then like,
it's super whack. I'm not gonna co-sign it whatsoever. It's just that.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And then I'll hear my own homies sit there and say like, "Oh, she's sexy,"
Do you ever think they're stupid?
And
Do you ever think that maybe they're wrong and dumb?
I mean, no, like. And then I'm like, I don't
think she's
get it. And they defend that it's not about looks, it's about her presence or her delivery.
I don't see.
And I'm just like, dude, what happened to being a lady?
No, I get it. I don't necessarily
like. It's the most ratchet of ratchet.
Sounds like I need to put this on in the kitchen at work.
But then at the same time, she sound, in my opinion, I'm not even gonna hold back. Fuck it.
Yeah, to me, it's just
but
like.
then she sounds like a man that she's doing it. like I don't even know.
I see. No, it's. I see. I see her. I know, but what I'm trying to say that I see her, and also too as someone who's dated black and Spanish girls his whole life. I look at her and like I don't see necessarily what stands out because I'm like I know so many people who look just like her, or like so as far as like looks, I don't know where like the whole like physical attraction thing comes into play, but. Exactly. Or the presence too, to where like that super ratchet shit don't do it for me.
I'm trying to understand what's the appeal.
I think, but
money.
Well, I don't. You'd have to understand what it. Like I said, I'm down south enough to where like I get it. Yeah,
you feel me?
I love down south music.
And there's lots that I can. I mean, but I don't know. As a female, it's the female part for me. It's that's what rocks me. It's like I don't know.
So y'all don't know about Glorilla.
And then Ice Spice.
Glorilla.
Ice Spice.
Ice Spice.
Again,
Ice Spice.
I've also dated enough Puerto Rican girls in my lifetime to where like I see Ice Spice and I was like, "Whew, she reminds me of a younger version of a lot of what I used to date because I love hip hop." She's very attractive. I'll give her credit. She's,
I think she is so
What
cute.
you gonna ask?
But she's
How
super
do you know
fucking
that?
super.
How do I know what?
How do you know all those people? But he answered. He says, because I love hip hop.
Well, they're big. They're like big names in the hip hop thing right now. Like they're like
I don't know.
huge. Yeah,
Still,
yeah.
Who was this
I'm
other
just
one?
trying to,
Ice.
you know,
What?
What do you
Ice
think,
Spice.
babe?
Ice Spice.
Ice Spiders.
She alright. Next question.
I like
Sammy's
her.
like,
I like
oh,
her.
fucking-
I like her. I like Ice
What else we-
Spice.
what else we
But
got?
I've heard a lot of negative shit against her.
Yo, Crypto.
What's
I
up?
like her.
How was your
Same
week?
way
I
I
don't-
liked Cardi when she came
I don't know,
out.
same.
Straight
Same.
from
You have a
the
good
drop.
week, bud?
Actually, not really.
No.
Not really, actually. But I'm sure other people had worse weeks, so if I complain, I'm a bitch. So it's like, that's life.
You're allowed.
Do you know it costs $100 in this place to shit?
What do you mean?
To have a toilet in your house. Did you know that?
Well, you gotta give me a little more of a direction or reference.
To have
what
a
you're trying to
toilet
say.
that goes anywhere, Will, it's gonna cost you $100.
It's just a sewer, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yes.
Sewage bill?
Sewage bill.
Oh Jesus!
I
man, that's
never
why I was
met
like,
a
that could have gone so many different.
$100.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to try a DOD card?
Dude, you can just go
Deck of
outside and shit for
Destiny.
free.
Do you guys want to try a Deck of Destiny
Ah,
card?
man.
I don't
What's-
know. Who's
oh.
drawing it?
Yeah.
I'm not drawing it.
I'm not
You got me for like another 15 minutes and I'm out.
Alright.
I'll draw a card.
Will, you draw. Shuffle it and then draw.
Where's it at?
Right
Right here.
there.
The whole deck or just a
Yes,
handful?
If your hands are big enough to shuffle the whole deck.
No, I'm not gonna fucking. I'll do part of it. How about
He's a
that?
giant, dude. He's like 8 foot tall. You guys don't even know.
6'4".
He's sitting on the floor right
Feels
now.
like it's getting stronger.
He's sitting on the floor. You guys can't even see me
This is
or
gonna be
him.
fucking hard.
I'm holding him up. I'm holding him up right now. You
He's
can't
actually
even.
kneeling.
It's not poker.
And just no, I know. But I do a lot of like I'll draw tarot cards and the
Dude, if
idea
you
is to
pull
just
sex
kinda,
worker, I'm fucking punching you right in the face.
Oh my god, you're gonna hurt your hand.
Yeah, I'm about to
bro.
say, Kyle, you better think twice before you do
I
that.
know, but it's the end of the world. No, because it's impossible.
All right, so this is one I drew. Am I allowed to look at
Make
this?
one like that.
I said, yo,
No,
he has one fight left in him.
Am I allowed to
He
look at this?
don't. He don't want. He
You have to
don't want to
announce
get
it.
beat up for his last.
So
fight.
I have to look at.
Yes.
No, I can. TV that freaked you. So like TV show that freaked me out as a kid.
Oh,
Ooh,
you
that's
got
a good one.
easy one. dude.
I'll draw another one then. So like a TV show, okay.
You're recording. Oh yeah.
We're still going.
Well, a movie I can give was the original one that really did it for me was Jaws. As much as I love it, and I loved it as a kid, I'm talking 4 or 5 years old. I remember anything with water. I was terrified for like a year. So like I would get
Jaws?
I would get in the fucking thug. I'm a 5-year-old kid. I can't help it. But I would get in the bathtub and like hover over the fucking bathtub and scoop water. And at fucking
I was like that
preschool,
too.
I got in trouble at preschool because I remember like I didn't want to sit on the toilet because I thought Jaws was
Jaws
gonna
would
fucking
come
come
up
up.
the
You know,
toilet?
yeah. And so I was like, they walked in on me standing on the toilet seat, aiming my little Peter down. You know, and, yeah, so Jaws. But I'm trying to think of a TV show. I want to say, oh motherfucker! How am I couldn't even believe I had to think about this. The fucking X Files.
Oh, geez.
The X Files. It was the 3 ones because I watched it all the time. You know what I mean? And you know my mom let me do it, and I remember it was the 3 ones of the early seasons that really stood out for me. I remember I was very young. Was fucking Eugene Toombs. You know what I mean? The guy, which also was funny that he ended up. The actor was a fucking creep in real life, you know.
Yes.
Motherfucker married the kid, yeah. Eugene Toombs, the Fluke Man episode, you know. Remember the Fluke Man was like the parasite human. That was a fucking freaky one. And then the one that did it for me the most was the ultimate episode, the episode that inspired the movie Wrong Turn, which was the Peacock Brothers.
Were they all inbred?
The inbred family. Oh my god, with the mom on the rolling skid under the bed. That traumatized me as a child, man. You know what I mean? And that the X Files and Jaws for sure. That was an easy one. What do you want me to give a hard one?
Sam, your opinion on that?
I would say. I mean, we're doing a movie, but I had to say Pet Cemetery. Like,
No one.
yo, I literally jumped like halfway across my room to jump on my bed because of that movie. I did it for years.
Oh my god,
Because of underneath, bro, like they cut
the
their
fucking
foot.
sister. the sister was
Yeah.
the freaking Rachel. That one, oh, that fuck with the spina bifida when she comes running. That fucking to this day, I still when that scene's coming on, I start to prepare myself. That's That's
What about
one.
TV, yo? What about TV?
Barney.
That'll do it, man.
Bro. That's just
That
weird.
purple bastard.
Yeah, talking about he loves me. That motherfucker don't even know me.
I do it when you get a
Stranger. Stranger danger.
Who
What
you
you,
got?
Frank? Oh, my phone.
Movies was definitely Freddy Krueger for me.
Okay.
I had nightmare. Like,
So
I
big.
totally feel the Jaws thing because I had a real life type of. I've always had. We've talked about this before. I've always had dreams, and they eventually come true. So I had a terrible,
Jaws experience.
not Jaws, but shark and real life experience. The real life experience wasn't a shark. My dream was that my adopted mom had gotten bitten in half by a shark. And less than 24 hours later, in the middle of giving birth to my little brother, she became paralyzed
No shit.
from the neck down.
Well, quit trying to make it sad. Tell us the end of the
No,
fucking
real
story.
shit.
What happened?
So
She
like
ate?
Jaws freaked me out for that reason.
Okay.
Damn. Okay.
And then
Sad now. There's paralyzed.
no, I mean it's
kids
just
out
it
here.
is what it is. You know how
What
I
about a
am.
TV
Sensitive.
show?
I'm a sensitive. So TV show. Another dark story, but Punky Brewster.
What the fuck?
Oh, shit.
It creeped me out
She was
through
weird.
my own experience as a child that, you know, like some grown man was like, you know, opening her up and touching her and yeah.
Yeah, that's dark.
weird.
What about you, Frank?
Dude, I think we talked about this before.
That's what I was
on
going to say. I'm not
podcast,
answering. I already
but
mentioned this before.
Mine
Well, I don't
is
know.
Freddy,
That's
and I
true.
still have dreams where like I'm fighting with Freddy. I mean, like there's one time where I got my own
Oh, yeah,
gloves and I had to
interesting
duel
about
him,
Freddy.
and it's
You
like
rushed
it's
me.
just weird.
Freddy
Like
crazy.
I was born
Solid
early
pick.
'80s. Like
Solid pick.
Freddy's there. Second
Oh,
to
yeah.
that would be
Oh,
like
yeah.
Hellraiser, then Poltergeist. There's
Poltergeist
just
is a good one,
something
yeah.
about those movies.
Exorcism. and shit.
Freddy, I gotta say my shit on Freddy. I had this reoccurring nightmare with Freddy that I would
still
go
have
into the
recurring
kitchen.
nightmares with Freddy.
That I would go into the
39,
kitchen,
bro.
open the oven, and he would crawl out, and he was solid
like-
gold.
Oh, that's
Freddy.
wild.
And just creepy, like just.
It's weird symbology.
The oven, yeah.
Good will. Pull one more. Go on.
Let's see here. I shuffled these. Let's see this one. El Dorado, Lost City of Gold. It says. What's the context of that?
The ancient cities. Do you believe there's ancient cities that are made
Oh, yeah.
of treasure out there? And
I-
if so,
I-
why?
so-
Why do you believe in that?
National treasure.
Well, I think that they've done a lot of like. There's been a lot of like. I don't want to say proof, but like really conclusive arrows that point towards Atlantis. You know that they find stuff like that, and you know
Like the Bimini Road or some shit like
that. See, yeah, that right there. There's just a lot of shit like that, and I think that you know El Dorado, or even not just El Dorado, but like I love, because remember I have a lot of guys, so like we have a lot of chapters down in Florida. A lot of guys are fishermen, and we actually have a Keys chapter called the End of the Road Crew. You know what I mean? And they're the club that run the Keys, and them guys are all like commercial fishermen, and they fucking, I mean, time and again, they'll tell me stories about like just being out there, pulling lobster traps and just dredging, just insane things that I mean that like they're gonna
Just
hold on
finding
to,
weird shit.
but like shit that is very clearly from because remember like the Caribbean, like that whole stretch, like the pirate culture back then with Cuba, like all that stuff was just like that stretch
Crazy,
was huge. Yeah, that like there's so much. So I see these shows and these people who are treasure hunters and different things like that, and a lot of it you think is like a fool's errand, but I think that the same way that I love believing in cryptids and monster stories and
I
things,
love that you love that.
I want it to be real, and I would hope for someone someday.
Some
to
of them
just,
gotta be out of the sheer numbers.
yeah, because I love listen, and on that concept, it's probably why I love that fucking show on Netflix, that The Outer Banks, so fucking good, dude. And I thought it was gonna be like a fucking teen show. It's so good,
it's
yo.
actually good. Like I keep
incredible.
seeing it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna watch that.
Incredible.
It's like it seems like a teenage.
You know what's funny? I thought the same thing, but I had a couple actually. My bros be like, no. Like if you like, is it
like cryptic in a sense?
It is, and it's very gritty. It's very dark, and like it's only associated as a quote unquote teen show because the main cast are like this band of like, but it's a very adult show, and like the idea is like there's an element of like the whole treasure hunt around it, and it's also too like I'm a swamp guy, so the setting is like the real swampy. But the point is that like I think that's what really kind of peaked. It's funny that I pulled this because
it's weird.
It's fresh on my mind because I just watched the most recent season. Like this is like the fucking basis to where I really want for this to be a real thing. And how fucking cool would it be one day if like if you got like the notion or you found some kind of conclusive, like say for me in Louisiana, there was some kind of conclusive thing. It's somewhere in the vicinity where I live. There could be that.
Yeah, could be anywhere.
I'm from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
But are there like a lot of treasures in like the bayou and the swamps?
All that. Because remember that was
old
all
sailors back then.
That
the
was
French would just hide stuff.
So I got a great one for you. Being from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, you know, for Columbia specifically, you know, Chickie's Trail is like one of the most haunted in Pennsylvania. There's like 8 different, you know, ghost related stories. One of them was because if you remember, it's on the Susquehanna, so. It was a big, you know, big ferry port for the longest time, way back in the day, and there was a lot of like sailors, or there was like river pirates and all that shit. We're talking the 1700s and whatnot, and because the German settlers, also Pennsylvania Dutch, so there was this old story about how there's like one of the ghosts that roams the trail was an old German pirate, because in German lore, if you've stolen something that doesn't belong to you, then your soul is doomed to wander until those items have been returned. So the story is that there is a considerable amount of pirate gold that's buried somewhere back along Chickie's Trail.
They say it's buried all along Susquehanna.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly, and that's why his soul is at unrest. But there's the voice in my head, like aside from the ghost story attached to it, it's like.
That's my
fuck, I would love to go out there, you know, at night and sneak out there with a fucking, you know, a metal detector.
I want to go magnet.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Dude,
like,
that would be a good spot.
I talked to Sam about
catch a ghost and everything.
Yeah. What do you
Find
think,
some
Sam?
gold, get a ghost.
Is there cities out there still that are fucking filled with gold that maybe have been forgotten about? Like,
yeah, Santa's Workshop, North Pole.
Really?
You're so stupid, man. You're so stupid.
I'm sorry, it's been a long day.
You know how like much one, like if you found like one genuine pirate doubloon like that, like you'd be set, bro. Let alone a fucking.
Yeah, and then you got to think about where'd you find that shit at, because there could be a whole bunch.
Absolutely.
So like the Atlantis, right? Is that something?
That was the city that sunk into the sea, right? Yeah.
So shit like that, and like the pyramids and such.
Not the pyramids, because we know the pyramids are real. But like El Dorado, like they said, the
lost city of gold.
Lost city of gold. They had so much gold that they decorated all their buildings with it. But then
that's wild.
Something happened that they all died, or I don't know the exact.
Well, there's a curse supposed to be attached to it, or something like that.
Yeah. They say you can't take any
that's cool.
Fucking shit.
I love.
Where is
love
that
shit
at?
like
Mexico
that. It's fucking
or Central?
It's Central. I want to say.
I have no idea.
One of the Costa Rica or something like that. You know what I mean?
Someplace the Spanish invaded because they were after gold. So the only thing they cared about was fucking getting gold money.
That's true.
And women.
Yeah, maybe El Dorado was just a story they told to the Spanish to get them out of their towns.
Ah, that's another.
Scare tactic.
Yeah.
See, the hat's working now, man. Look at it. You know what I mean?
That John's starting to smoke.
Shut up.
What about you? How you feel?
Lost City of Gold.
I think that at least most stories are true. But I also am a firm believer that some things are not meant for everyone.
Sure.
So people could have very well discovered them and chose to leave it a mystery.
Yeah, I kind of just want to go explore the jungles of Costa Rica or something.
Yeah, fuck, man. I really want to now.
People could have already taken the treasure.
True. Shit could be
and
gone.
kept it to
Yeah, it could be
themselves.
long gone. All of it could be long.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many possibilities.
Erosion, jungle,
But, you know, my
growth.
belief is that myth and legends don't come from nowhere.
Right.
There's
True.
a stem and origin somewhere. So, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a good way to. It's a good way to put it. It is.
Franklin?
I'm kind of. Does it exist?
Yeah.
No, my answer was like maybe it was just like a story, you know, just a strategic story to get the Spaniards out of their area or something.
Expounded story.
Yeah, but my thing is gold along the Susquehanna.
Oh yeah.
That'd be the.
Oh yeah.
We should go magnet fishing.
For real. Let's find it.
Like, what
Guys.
would you do if you found gold on the side? Like, who do you tell? Do you tell anyone? How do you appraise
tell?
it?
Like, who's gonna know?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
Who's gonna know?
the idiot
Hey, bro, we
thing.
telling.
Fuck no.
The idiot thing to do,
Would let it be known.
or even just like to go to a
They
typical
want the
gold
fame and
purveyor.
fortune.
Because you know
Because
they're gonna be
if
like,
you're looking
yeah,
at-
it's
yeah.
not
Kept
worth
it
that
all.
much.
No,
You
yeah, because
know?
if you're looking at it just for the sake of gold itself, then yeah, it's going to be whatever the value is based on the weight or the material. But like
But the history and everything
exactly,
else.
because that all adds into the value of
Right.
it, you know,
Price.
the historic significance. Yeah. So
Right.
No, you'll know if I ever find gold in Susquehanna. 'Cause
How?
I'll be having a mouthful of gold and gauntlets like this big.
Just
Just
like
walk
that?
around. Yeah, I'll just walk around like this,
I
bro.
don't. I'll vanish.
Solid gold. You'll see like
Sammy
chains.
Gold.
I'll be looking like Mr. T over here.
Yo, but the fucked up thing is, you're joking, but that could be
Who's
100%
joking?
100% real.
I'm dead serious.
I'm
You'll know
dead-
if I'm fucking gold in Susquehanna,
Yeah.
bud.
It could be there. There could be thousands.
Could
pounds.
be.
Could
I guess we'll never know.
I guess.
unless Kyle goes out there with a
Unless
fucking
someone
magnet
goes
on the
out
rope,
there.
Right?
Look,
I
dude.
agree.
magnet on the rope.
Chances of that are slim. This motherfucker
Yeah,
don't like the
very-
lyric
No,
house.
but listen, but also too, if you remember, so if you've done any scrapping back in the day, which I did, I had a junk hauling company for a little bit, and like good metals, so
remember
like
that.
so gold, silver, aluminum, brass, the
Yeah.
shit that actually has value, a magnet won't stick to it. That's how you. That's the test.
Totally, yeah.
That's how you know it's worth it. Because if you have metal, it's a lot of like scrappers would keep a little magnet on their thing, and if you stick it and it sticks to it, it's just shit metal. You get the base rate, but if it doesn't stick, then it has value. So you can go out there with a magnet.
The coils, because
Yeah, you're gonna get a bunch of shit, Kyle. Way to go.
Yeah, you'll get bombs
get
and
fucking
you'll get fucking
iron and
car,
not
rims.
gonna do it all the
bullshit,
time.
brass.
I
like,
think it'd make
It won't be able to pull gold. is what I'm
Ladies
saying.
and
you're
gentlemen,
gonna pull out a fucking door handle. Fucking doorknob, motherfucker.
AgentsOfCalamity.com.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate this. This has been a
appreciate
fucking-
Yeah, I'm
you.
still waiting for
Interesting
Kyle to
time.
say something smart.
I'm not saying nothing. I don't know nothing.
Yo, if
God.
Kyle gets gold, he's gonna be riding around one of those Japanese choppers. One of
That
those
guy.
old, what are those? Like old Kawasaki's, like the motorcycle clubs
The
in
hand,
Japan
dude.
and Korea drive around, like those weird bikes.
Oh, the weird bikes. You better not get no fucking weird bike, Kyle. I'll make fun of you like
Dude,
a motherfucker.
I don't
man.
believe in bikes,
You
dude.
get a scooter.
You don't believe in
Scooting
them.
around
Believe in them. They're real.
I know.
They'll be listening to I'm
They
a
like
Real
to kill my
American
friends,
riding
dude.
around.
They like to kill your friends.
They
They
like to
haven't-
kill my friends.
They haven't killed me yet, and I ride pretty hard all the time.
Oh, I
so
mean, yeah, respectfully, you gotta, you gotta respect the
that's
bike.
it. It's oh yeah. I mean I there's not. I'm not trying to downplay it. I almost lost my life, once in a pretty bad accident. But the old saying, "Well, get back on a horse." You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like saying guns kill people.
Yeah, but you don't have to. That's the.
I've never seen a gun
don't
get
have
up
to.
and shoot somebody.
Yeah, I hear you, man. But like I said, it's there's nothing else I can say besides
No.
it's in my blood.
I know.
I mean, it's
I
just
know.
it's a part of me. There's no
Yeah,
fucking
And you'll
better
probably
feeling.
you'll probably be okay with dying on your bike, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things more in life that I would like to do first. You know what I mean? But
But you don't get
Yeah.
to choose that.
no, you're right. So no, but if I do on the bike, then
And
Like
you're-
at the very end of Sons of Anarchy.
I've never seen it, so I believe it.
Yo, well, back to the start of this whole podcast tonight. If you never had your stepdad, do you think you would have gotten into music and onto bikes?
Well, he didn't end up being my stepdad. They dated
Well,
very
boy-
short, but
boy-
because I had to think for a second. I said, "Wait, who's my
Like,
stepdad?"
you
But
think he would have been like if you didn't have that influence?
I think I don't know. I think that I may have
The universe would have brought it to you
because of
another way.
because of the circumstances that took place in my life that really like solidified that. But I think that he was the biggest. That was the biggest seed that was planted. You know, we all have these,
musically and the bikes and all them.
maybe not musically, but the bikes for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember that. Yeah. So that was one of the first genuine seeds that was planted. You know what I mean? That's what that was. What are you making a hand signal over there?
I'm saying there's that much room over there, Frank. Thanks, Rick.
Hey guys. On that note,
You guys can kiss later.
thank you guys. Appreciate that. It's been a good time.
Thanks, guys.
It's been a good
Yeah,
time.
baby Frank.
Oh.
Covering him up.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for watching the Agents of Calamity
Get
podcast.
away from me. Stop it.
You can follow us on the Facebook
Yo, let
World.
Frank alone.
Dude.
World Network.
World
Facebook
Network.
group, Agents of Calamity. You can follow us on Instagram. Is that what it's called? Insta
No,
Papa?
IG.
IG?
Yeah,
There
IG.
you go.
At AOC_operatives. On the tweets at AOC operatives.
Twats.
On the twats. On the twatters, dude. You can get all the content on www.theagentsofcalamity.com for free.
For free.
Please, once again, tune in. Please forgive these men of their trespasses.
Sit the fuck down.
They're not
man.
Christ-like like me.
Yo, thank you for watching. It's a flying can of spam, Pineapple Man, and a big shout out to my employer. She wanted a shout out. Not sure why. I was being a bully that day, then she asked for a shout out.
to Frank's employer.
Yeah.
Yay.
Keeping the bills paid. Good for you.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, thanks again for having me, everybody. I appreciate this. Yeah, I don't get to have discussions like this. I don't get to be around individuals like you motherfuckers that often, so I'm not all the way mad about that either. But I love the two of y'all, that's for sure. But but needless to say,
You don't count, he's Asian, I get it.
Stop Asian hate.
oh, for God's sake, don't y'all start. Don't attach me to nothing. But I'm saying, no, but this was a really good time. Once again, you know, Willy_Blaze 1369. I'll have some really good music coming out pretty soon. Really good music coming out soon. Thank you.
Yay.
Appreciate it.
Sammy Snow. Drum work. Do.
Delilah. Diamante Grezzo on Facebook and Medusa
Revenge?
Legacy.
Oh, Revenge.
Medusa's Legacy.
Think
Wine,
about it.
guys, wine.
Is it?
On Instagram and also Galaxy in Motion.
Like and subscribe.
Thanks
Bang,
for
bang.
watching.
Like, subscribe.
Agents of Calamity podcast. This is Fly Short, and you're watching the Agents of Calamity with Flash Attack Jack, Sammy SNO, and Frank One. Stay YO. Pierre Dennis, you suck at Ultima Online. Anyways, I'm an island boy. Let's just make it to the top, yeah. I want to give a big shout to Agents of Calamity podcast. They be so amazing, yeah. Oh, fly sort of likes to watch them. I like to fly away like a vulture. I don't worry about no one, yeah. I keep it 100, yeah. It's about respect, yeah. I like to wear my chains, yeah. I like to make it go dangling, yeah. I got diamonds around my teeth, yeah. I got so much drip on me, yeah. Crucified by my 17, yeah. I like to watch the Calamity podcast. You guys are so amazing. Bigger ups to y'all. Oh, keep on going, yeah. Oh, strive for greatness, yeah. Don't ever stop, oh, yeah. There's gonna be some haters, yeah. Don't let them phase you, yeah. Big shout out to Calamity with the flash attack, Jack, Sammy, SNO, and Frank One. Stay wild, Pierre Dennis, you suck at Ultimate Online. I'm a star boy, let's make it to the top. And I be dripping in designer. I'm a 2001 baby. Oh yeah, we already know what time it is. I like the 17 cause that's my spiritual meaning. I'm so raw with it, island boy man, it's strength in my head, yeah. Line up fresh every day, yeah. I'm broken hearted, I ain't worried about nobody. Shout out to my mama for making me who I am, yeah. And my daughter, I don't mean to be your father. I love my baby mama, what can I say, yeah. I'm a fly soldier, let me fly away, yeah.